to raise a child. So what came to mind as I was preparing was the question, how to raise it to grow a tomato. Now, do you have to tell the tomato and keep telling the tomato what it has to become and how it's meant to grow? Do you have to pull it so that it would grow into a tomato and not an apple or something else? You don't have to do that. You just give it the best conditions for it to grow, and you will leave it alone and it will grow by itself in its own time of processing into maturity. And I dare say it may be the same for a child. A child is a seed of a soul that comes into this world, and it does not come like a white sheet of paper. It is fully equipped like the tomato with everything it needs in order to develop as a human being. And I would like to ask you, all of you, which one of you has had a child or children and raised them? I'm sure it's all of you here, right? Yeah. And yeah. The others, I can't see them. Okay. All right. So I think we all know that raising a child is challenging. And I want to now share to you a story that I read in the last book, book number 10, with the title Anastasia or Anasta, where Vladimir relates one of his visits to Anastasia in order to see his daughter for the first time. And at that time, she's less than 2 years old. So whenever he arrives in the glade, the first thing that he does is jump into the lake. That is a demand from Anastasia, because she says he has to clear himself from all the bad smells that he has accumulated in his body, in his life in the city. So after the wash down, she rubs him down with a green herbal paste from head to toe, and he has to walk about for a while to let the soak in and then wash it off again. And then she takes off her tunic and she gives it to him and asks him to please wear this, and explaining to him that his little daughter and all the beings in her glade will not harm him at all, because this tunic carries her smell and her vibration. So, well, he follows her dictum, and then she says that he should go and find the child. She is walking around in the taiga on her own, and Anastasia calmly settles in her little burrow to do something on her own. So, and she sends him off. And his feelings are very mixed. He remembers that, yeah, she tells him, you have to observe her first before you approach her and interact with her. And he remembered then that this is the same thing she requested of him when she was raising the son. And so he accepted that. And he jumps between what he experiences there with his child, and then he goes in his mind to the city, thinking of the children who are growing up in the city in an apartment, like in a cage, and not free to discover the world on their own, and they're free in a free way. And so, and this continues, this jump between, you can say, perhaps two cultures. And it, of course, does a lot into his inner space. And he also acknowledges how much his encounter with Anastasia has changed him over the years. It's about 15 years now he has known her, and how oftentimes he was strongly triggered by her design of the world, or her idea of how people should live. And but now he was much less troubled about the fact that she was giving birth to the daughter as well in the taiga on her own, with no institution, no doctors or anything like that. On her own, she would birth this child. And he was even happy that she had again decided to do so. But now, in the first time meeting his daughter, this little girl, he was a little tense. And so he asked her, where is she? And Anastasia said to him, well, you just follow your heart. You will find her. She's around here. So he decided, okay, to strategically go around in circles, but he didn't complete the first circle, and already he spotted her walking in the grass barefoot, holding on to the branch of a bush and looking at the animals in it, smiling, discovering the world in this way. So he followed her steps, saw how she tripped over grass and fell to the ground, and but she didn't cry. She just got up on her hands, pushed herself up to the stand again, and continued her walking. But all of a sudden, she just disappeared out of sight, just in a second. He couldn't see her anymore. And he was like taken aback. Oh, where is she? What happened? So he looked around a while, and then he ran to Anastasia. The child is gone. The child is gone. I can't find her. And then Anastasia said, I will come with you. And she pointed to where a fox was rubbing his behind on a tree lazily. So she said, the fox just told me that the child could be in his den. So that's where they went. She pushed the grass aside, and lo and behold, there was little Anastasia, fast asleep, sweetly, calmly, peacefully asleep. So Then he was racking his brain. How is she going to get out of this pit? Well, he had to wait for quite a while. And then the little one woke up. Anastasia had gone back to her burrow to continue her work. So she woke up and looked around, and then she was trying to get out of this pit, but she was not successful. So she made a little sound, and the fox arrived. And this fox turned around, let his tail down into the burrow, and she held on to the tail, and he strengthened his muscles and started pulling and pulled her out of the pit. She fell to her knees and then stood up on her legs again. And yeah, everything was fine. Then she decided to walk towards the lake. Of course, the father was worried, but he didn't show himself yet. So she went to the lake, and now he witnessed how the animals are interfering on her behalf. So as she was approaching the lake, the wolf came and jumped in between her and the lake, thus barring her access to the lake. She pulled him on his fur and on his nose, and but he wouldn't budge. So she thought for a moment. Then she made a large circle around him, trying to circumvent him and find her way into the lake. But of course, he saw what she was up to, and again, he blocked her path to the lake. Next thing, she thought, I'm going to crawl under his belly. So she attempted to do so, and the wolf just dropped his body on top of her. There she was stuck again. She thought again, and then she went a little away from the lake and looked around and picked up a little twig, a branch of a tree. And she held it on the nose of the wolf. And then she threw it away from the lake in that direction. And the wolf instinctively jumped after the twig. And the same moment he realized, uh-oh, she has outwitted me. And quickly goes back, and she's already, one step away from the lake, and he jumps at her, and she falls with her head into the water. And I don't remember exactly what happens then, but anyhow, in the end, she ends up swimming, floating in the water, and she knows how to handle it. She just starts to paddle a bit, and then the wolf jumps in with her, and they swim a while together. But it's all very peaceful and harmonious interaction, and very, very big care that this wolf has for this little girl. Yeah. And Vladimir witnesses all this in amazement. And yeah, well, she comes out in the end. Oh, she's taken off her tunic before. She comes out, shakes herself off, as does the wolf. And he brings her little tunic. Yeah, And that's when she spots her father for the first time. And she's kind of dump struck, and just stares at him. But then she continues her train of thoughts and her train of action. Yeah, this is to demonstrate how in the wild nature, with all those wild animals, a human child is as protected and revered by those wild animals. And Anastasia would explain that it is because all creatures are yearning to be seen, to be admired, to be loved, to be acknowledged by the human being as the one that is, I don't know, I don't want to say higher because I don't perceive it that way, but it's more maybe more advanced or more equipped to be a leader. And so the animals are, it's their greatest wish to serve this being and to protect him or her as well in this glade, which is like their territory where they live together. And yeah, I guess that this idea of raising a child would be strange to most of us, right? Hello, are you there? Everybody? So, what is your reflection upon this? What do you feel about this? Can you imagine yourself to bring up your child in such an environment? Speak to me.
Yeah. Anybody wants to share, friends? If not, I will start sharing. Yes, Irena. It would be really nice if if a child is raised in such a way. First of all, we living in this world have to be clear with no fears and all these things, because when we are in fears, then any kind of place won't be, it will be scary. Like even living in this world, in this you know uh, this world where we are not we are away from the forest, and we are away from where Anastasia is living, but still we can at least imbibe some qualities of what she had she had shared in here, of how to watch a child, how to just be an observer, not to interfere in child's life, and not to have fears. And like, we don't have to go to that extreme level, but at least wherever we are, we whatever we are experiencing, that is what the child will get to take it. It will be the child's reality. So if we change our reality of how we see things, then the child's reality will also be different. So yeah, being in this world, we can all do that, and we can all raise a wonderful kids without interfering, and with so much love, and leaving the kind of attachment that my child only belongs to me, but giving the child to the world, that whoever the child meets, like may it be an old person, may it be a young person, may it be anybody, may it be a dog on the street or a cat on the street or a flower or a tree or a mountain, anywhere, we should give that, we should give our child to that kind of environment where the child gets to learn and to interact and communicate with all those beings. So that's my understanding.
Thank you, Yamadu. I had the thought come to me that even if we look at ourselves and our lives, what all we have gone through, most of the things that we have gone through, we're not able to anticipate, or many of the things, and we still went through and came out the other side, and we gained at least experience, perhaps even some wisdom and knowledge about the world, about ourselves, and about that, what most people call God, but it's not the old man with the gray beard that shakes his finger, his pointer at us. It is something much, 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 much more vast. And looking at all creation, how wise, how beautiful, how abundant and rich, everything, from the big elephant down to the grass on the ground, has been created in such profound wisdom, with so much love. That love and that wisdom is also instilled in every single human being, right? In each one of us. And we have experienced in our lives how we are growing through the experience. We may be suffering at one point, but then we get up and we learn and we continue and we grow, and we understand more. And I think that what we have lost in our modern way of life is the understanding that we are souls. We are a soul, each one of us, a soul that lands on this physical plane in a physical body. And it faces great challenges from day one, even from inside the womb. But it is fully equipped with everything it needs, as is the tomato seed. It knows exactly that it's going to be red, and it has many leaves and many brother and sister tomatoes, and that is here to nurture human beings and animals. And yeah, with us it's a little more complex. But I think one other thing to add here is that Anastasia explains how the child gets to learn and understand the language of the universe by observing the little beetles, playing with the squirrels, being protected by the bear and the wolf, looking at the sky, exploring the water, and everything around speaks to the child in the language of the universe. And the child, as we have seen in this little story, how she thinks, that little girl, not even 2 years old, how she thinks of how to get out of challenging situations. And she finds a solution. Like we also found solutions out of many challenging situations in our life. So if we can, why not the child? She is just small in her body, but she is fully equipped with everything she needs to know. So, and what we do in our world is that we pour tons of concepts and things to do and things not to do into her mind. And in the end, she forgets who she is, what she is, right? Can you relate to that? I think we can all, especially looking at the world the way it is nowadays, it needs some repair. And that repair can only grow in each and everybody's heart, right? Because that's where we took the wrong turns. But we can return back to the knowing of the heart, the knowing of the body, the wisdom of the body, and live alive. Yeah. We now also live in apartments made from what's it called? Cement, where we cut ourselves off from the ground, from the body of the Mother Earth, which, you know, everything in the nature gifts us energy. We talked about a little bit about the ringing cedars. And every time I read about it, I am so in awe what nature is giving us, you know. And what have we done? So yeah, there are many, many, many more aspects to it. Of course, the place where we are at now, we cannot all run to some bushy area in the world and start completely different. But it's the thing that works in our consciousness first, understanding what we have done to ourselves by even subconsciously or unconsciously choosing the lifestyle that we are living now and going against our own nature. We can retrieve that path step by step. It is a process that will take us back home and that will render great, profound healing to all of us. So now I want to pass the word over to you to give you a chance to share your own wisdom about this. Hello. India.
Yeah. Thank you,
Hi.
Irena. Thank you. Hi. Beautifully explained. I love the way you tell the story, the way it is. Nice video to start with. It was so nice to see the child so comfortable with the animals. And then I love the way you started about parenting and how a tomato plant, you don't need to tell how it has to grow. So definitely, I agree. So many times I heard Sadhguru say, or Patri sir, or any other master say, you know, the children come through us, not we are not making them. So we need to recognize that. And you said they come fully equipped, which is so true. One incident I was thinking, like when the child just falls in the water and starts naturally swimming. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah. So we coming from India, I don't know, swimming is not natural for me. I was in Goa where there's like, you know, sea and all, but still, I think it was the fear that was there. But when I came to this, I'm in America now. When I came to the West, I've seen most of the children, the parents are so comfortable just, you know, little babies, putting them in the pond and, you know, automatically they start moving and they swim. and there's no fear. So the mom doesn't have, neither the child. So I think that instinct, we should have that within us. I would have been, so comfortable with water if I had grown up like that. But it takes a while to unlearn the fear and then come out of it and get comfortable. So thank you for that. And I came across spiritual parenting too when through many masters. I'm doing that book club on Buddha's wife, and she talks about spiritual parenting, how to connect with the child and come to their level, and interact with them. So thank you for bringing all these aspects for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
I want to add something to this.
Yeah.
And that is, now I've lost it. Where's it gone? Hello, come back. You were saying about the water. You know that the child, the embryo, it lives inside.
It's in the water. I know.
In the water.
Right? Swimming.
So
Yes.
it's a natural element to it. So it knows how to move in it. How to enjoy it even. I remember.
Actually, there's childbirth in the water too, right? They give birth
yeah. Yes.
Water birth.
Yes. I remember my cousin, she was crazy for swimming. She was in the water all the time. When she had a baby, she threw this child into the water, and he was also not quite 2 years old. And he knew exactly what to do.
I know.
It's fear. The fear is our enemy.
True.
Fear is our enemy. But the fear, I dare say, the fear is not naturally with us. It is something that's been instilled in us, right?
True.
You're not born with the fear.
Yes, we see somebody else get injured or something, and we hear those stories, and it just remains in us like that. So
yeah. Or my mother was somebody who was full of fear, and she would always be tense and say, "No, don't go there." So you pick it up as a child, right? And you don't know how to move anymore. You lose your natural connectivity to things around.
Yeah, I have a dog, and it's the same thing. I have friends. I mean, many of the Indian friends, they've seen, stray dogs, and they're scared because the stray dogs, sometimes they bite and they say. So my adult friends, women especially, are scared of my dog. But when the children come, they have no fear. The dog just goes to them. They play with them. It's like no fear, but the mother is scared. So it's
Thank you. Good example. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The fear is our enemy. We have to face our fears and integrate them into the love that we are, right? Create a balance.
So thank you again. Thank you for this wonderful sharing.
Yeah. I want to say also that I discovered today, I got an email. There is a podcast at 7:00, and it's an interview with a guy who has founded the Anastasia Foundation in the United States. So I thought that may be of interest to you, and Madhu will post it in the end, no? Or where you will tell where you are going to share it?
Yeah, I'll share it in the group. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
It is going to start in about 9 minutes from now.
Yeah. So I would really be pleased if people would interact some more. Come on out from the black screens here. Show yourself. Speak your mind and heart. Hello. Ritu, Indira Priya, Siresha, Swarna. Where are you hiding? Ritu, welcome. Siresha. So who wants to start? Hello.
Let me say my piece. Hello.
Yes. Yes,
Hello.
Lingeshwari ji, go ahead.
Yeah, very interesting to listen to your talk today, and it's quite astonishing the way Anastasia brings up her kids. I haven't read book 10. I only have up to book 3 with me, and we recently read the first book in our little reading group. But if everybody grows like that, they'll be child in the wild. Then there will be no education, or they'll be just like wild people. There'll be no education or training or anything. What can you say about that?
Well, I've read almost all 10 books.
Okay.
And I can say my resume of reading all of this and imbibing all what Anastasia shares and inspires, I can say this woman is completely enlightened, and she has knowing of everything under the sun. She can connect to the Akashic Chronicles, or to that field, the field of the universe. She can connect to the wisdom of the ancient time, as well as she creates images of the future, how the life is in the future. So she has highly developed her psychic abilities.
Yes.
Right? She communicates with the animals. Nope, Yani.
Yes.
So and she's not wild in the sense. I mean, she's also not civilized in our sense, but she is an amazing, highly evolved spiritual being.
She is.
No?
Yes.
So I don't know where you get the idea of wildness. I cannot see her as a wild person.
She's not wild. What I meant is, if every child grows up like that, I'm sure they'll be happy, and they get the education from someone like Anastasia. But is that sufficient for our world? Our world doesn't run in that way. We need formal education, formal, training. And I'm a doctor. I had to train a long many years. If I was grown like Anastasia's daughter, I don't know how I would have learned all that or trained
Yes,
in that discipline. Yeah.
I get what you are saying. And of course, like, it's a huge gap between her world and our world of today.
Yes.
And it's up to everyone to think, to open your mind, to find ways. Like, I find myself looking at everything, how I live my life here now, and I'm wondering, what of all this can I drop? Can I quit? Because it's not good for me. Like, I really, really want to get out of the city and get out of an apartment that's made from cement, but it's a process. It starts in your mind, understanding how you are actually not serving your highest best,
Yeah.
And in the long run, she designs a new world, a world where many people live in their own piece of land with their own family homestead, and grow their own food. They smith marriages that are happy. They have their children on the same land, and her idea is that if many thousands and maybe millions of people do this, the world will change. It will not be done in a day. It is a process. And in this process, people will be much more fulfilled, much more happy, and much more connected to the earth, to each other, and to the cosmos, and to the nature. Everything is here to serve us. That's how it was designed. We've come so far away from it. And are we happier for it? I dare say no, we are not. Yeah. So at least I know I'm not happy in this life design. I'm not. I've always, come home to myself whenever I had time in the nature. And blessed was I to be able to spend much time in various spots on this beautiful planet. And every time I had the feeling I have recharged, I have, I don't know, it's like the big medicine, the nature, right? Because it's mirroring us. We are part of nature. Our body is same as the earth and the elements around and all the nature kingdoms. We are that. So now what we've done, we've almost ruined this planet.
Yes, I agree with that.
No? So we
Yeah.
have to we really have to think about a better way to create our lives. And that means also to drop some of the things that we find to be destructive to our own nature, to the community of humans, and to the community of beings on this planet, right? So I think it's really that time that we're in right now, where so many shifts and changes are already happening, that we are invited to think deeper, right? Not to stay on the surface, which is what we are used to really do ourselves the favor to be a tomato.
Yeah, just grow and be happy.
Yeah, really. I mean, imagine, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Carefree, innocent.
Well, that'll be, yeah, that'll be the ideal world. That would be an ideal world.
That would be an
Paradise.
ideal world. And through each one of us, to our consciousness only, this is possible. It's doable. I believe firmly in this. And I'm so spiked to inspire all of you to think further, think deeper. Merci. So, if you want to, you could also jump on this podcast. I've forgotten his name now. And see what this young man has to share with us about how he goes about implementing the ideas of Anastasia. Because and I can only say what it does to me as I'm continuously reading. I think once I'm done with the last book, I'll start again with the first. Because as I read, it changes me, and
yes.
I think, oh yes, you see something different every time and you grow by it.
Sure.
Okay. So one last thing, I want you to tell me what you want to hear about next time. Do you have any quests? She talks about everything under the sun. So it's up to you, your choice, what you would like to hear.
So, Irena, this time we had spoke about Anasta, the daughter of Anastasia, and what happened to Anastasia when she was a child. Maybe that part we can, that part when her parents left, and that part we can do.
We could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other requests?
Yeah, hey, Irene, thank you so much. This is Mana. Yeah, appreciate.
What is
I
Anna?
could, yeah, I could, think similar lines that you explained about this nature and this world. So, yeah, maybe how she connects between nature to the, the current situation, or, she could think through everything. She can go back to ancient to the latest world. So maybe some of the thoughts, how she connects. I know being in the nature is the idealistic situation, and we have walked far away from that. So if we can grow our kids and ourselves into the nature, appreciate the nature, appreciate the nature's qualities, at least we could do little bit impact, right? We have gone 100% away from that. So every one moment, even if you hear 100% of it, you can only make a 1% of the move, right? So the more we inculcate, imbibe, hear, so that way we can make some room for the good qualities.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not that just we read the anesthesia today,
Mhm.
we become like anesthesia, and we are coming out of
Yeah,
this technology
exactly.
or so yeah, but still, even with the nature, the technology can grow to a beautiful way. Like a phone can be used as a good way or bad way, right? So if you give a good qualities to kids, they can use in a good way. Even today, we are using phones, but we are not the purpose of phone we understood, and we are using in the right way. So that is the thing that we are trying to bring it. And thank you so much for your insights and your experiences you are bringing to this platform. So
Could
maybe
you
how can she can connect more. And also I like Madhu ma'am's idea too, how she grew up. She was one generation before her child, so
could
it
you just
also give us.
phrase your question a little more compact? What
Means
exactly?
how she connects between the ancient or her nature to her daughter's nature, her daughter's, the lifestyle, and to the a little bit further to the era that we are living. How she can connect from her point of view.
Mhm. Okay.
Does that? Because I know she can connect to every eras, right? She can go back
Yeah,
and
yeah. Yeah.
so what are the some uh, realistic or the some wisdom she can bring in, so that we can really just take that and grow rich.
Okay. Thank you.
I have something
Thank you, but
to
I also like
I-
I like Mother Mam's idea too. So
Yes.
just whatever you feel. Thank you.
Okay. So Maru, you asked about how Anastasia grew up.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
Anastasia has
the
grew up,
situation with her parents, huh? Okay.
parents, yeah.
Okay.
And if
So many.
Swarnaji is asking about how Anastasia is able to access to the past and how she is witnessing in the present and how she is also seeing in the future. So what are the tools or what is that method that she we can't say the method. What is it that she's conveying that we can all learn from that? How we can get to access that what she's accessing? That is what, if I understand well, that
Okay.
is what Swarnaji is asking.
All right. That clarifies it a little more. Because as I say, she covers everything under the sun, you know. Okay.
Yeah. Irena, we have Mridula ji. So we will take the last sharing from Mridula ji. Yes, Mridula
um
ji.
I just wanted to share something that came up in my mind with Anastasia and being in the forest. Last year in Michigan, the state of Michigan, which is in the north here, I think it's on the line with England and Germany, the weather. A 2-year-old was lost from after dinner. She was playing outside with bare feet with her dogs, and they didn't find her till early morning. So almost like 12 hours she was lost in the forest. And when they found her peacefully sleeping with her 2 dogs. Her temperature was normal. Everything was fine. And she was walking bare feet. She walked 3 miles.
Wow.
The dogs, and then they found her sleeping with the young dogs, so the body temperature was normal. Everything was fine, and she just wasn't even in distress.
Yeah.
Right. And she was in the woods with the 2 little dogs that she loves so much. She felt safe. There was no
fear.
But nobody taught her. She's only 2. There's no language to teach her, right? How much can she's just beginning to understand words at 2. So I just wanted to say, I think fear is taught. We're taught because, like you said, your, mother or, whoever, they say, don't do this, don't do that, don't, but this girl she just wandered off because she's a little kid and she's only 2 years old. So imagine at 2.
Yeah, she's innocent, totally innocent and pure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Not everyone is safe, I don't think. But this girl, I don't know. 3 miles is a long ways for a little girl with bare feet. Because she was playing in the backyard of her house, and the backyard is it's in the wooded area. So I just wanted to share, how, dogs and animals and children, how resilient they are,
and they are wonderful matching.
That's why I wanted to share. I've been raising my hand for a while, but I wanted to share because suddenly I remembered because it was on the news here. And I thought, my God, when Anastasia, she's in the forest and everybody is asking, how come, because animals protect, it's really weird. The animals protect. We think that they're danger to us because we feel the fear. But when they see a baby or when they see a child, most of the animals who have their own children, like mammals, like dogs and, other animals, protect the child, like these 2 dogs protected. They never left her.
Yeah.
So, and so everybody is so happy.
We live in complete safety and we've forgotten it. How do we fix this? That's the question I'm asking you.
Well, we didn't grow up. We never had houses is through evolution of our society. We didn't live in houses. We first lived in huts. We lived in caves. We lived outside, actually.
Yes, exactly.
We learned to live in houses, and then when we started living in houses, we started fearing outside. We don't go outside. Like outside is danger, but we're from the outside. We are the outside.
Exactly. There's no outside, inside. We're all.
It was all, but we learned the outside, we learn now the house is inside, outside.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. We can undo it. We can unlearn. If we put our mind to it and start understanding how we are not doing ourselves a good service, right?
Yeah, I just want to share the story.
So many things come to mind that I would like to share with you. I'll write them down to share next time. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your interaction and for your input. This is what makes these calls really lively and enriching for all of us, right? But I want to jump off now because I want to listen to that podcast. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I'll write down all that I wanted to share now. Okay, and I wish you a wonderful week and a wonderful week following.
Thank you. What's the name of the podcast, Madhu?
I'm going to share it to you, Mridulaji.
Okay.
Irena is going to share it to me, and I'm going to share it to the group and to you as well. All right?
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Keep
Bye-bye.
safe. Keep happy.